Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Elena Michaels and I'm going to do a card reading and guided meditation for you. It has been a while since I have been here and I will tell you a little bit about that. You could probably tell from my voice, I'm still a little croaky, but I had one heck of a virus, not COVID, it wasn't COVID, but it was something. And I lost my voice for a while and I didn't do a recording. I didn't do one of these meditations for a couple of weeks. And then I did one in November, I think just one, and then I haven't done one since, and now already it's December. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. First of all, I was going through something that I call an elimination. Now, if you watch my last video, you'll see that I talk about in the last video how the body, to protect us, tends to take in emotion and somatize it into symptoms, physical symptoms, whether it's fatigue or it knocks you out and you can't speak and your throat is, sore, or you have GI stuff going on or back pain, whatever it is. Whatever the symptom is, the body seems to hold on to it. This is my perception, okay? This is what I think. Your body seems to hold on to that to protect your mind from going into too much overwhelm. Because if you are going through something emotional or something has happened to you in your life, some event that is stress-inducing, you've witnessed something intense has happened, and it could be anything from losing a job to a relationship breakup to witnessing an accident to hearing bad news about an illness or a diagnosis or someone you love and care about. But when something big happens, it even could be a move. You're moving your house. It happened to me one time when I was moving. It could be anything big like that. There's a stress scale that they give you in psychotherapy. And one of the top 5 things on the stress scale, the top 5 things I think are a move, a job loss, loss of a spouse, loss of a family member, a breakup of a relationship, things like that. So anyway, if something like that happens to you, sometimes the flood of emotion is so incredibly intense that you could decompensate and become non-functioning. And so I think my hypothesis is that the body, to step in and help, actually holds on to some of that until your brain kind of recalibrates a little bit and processes a little bit. And then the body releases a symptom and your mind gets to take that emotion and process that emotion for a while. So it's almost like the body keeps everything so that your mind can have time to process things so you don't go into a total decompensation and be unable to function. And then it kind of releases it in increments so that your mind can process it and incorporate it in an amount that seems more manageable for your mind. So that, I talked about that last time. Now, the elimination part, when someone gets sick, they have a choice. The choice is roll with it and let the body get rid of whatever it's trying to get rid of. When you get like a respiratory infection or a GI infection or food poisoning or anything like that, your body's trying to get rid of something, So if you allow your body to get rid of it, it's a natural process. The other option is to take medication to get rid of the symptom. Now, let's say this finger has an infection, okay? And it starts oozing and becoming pussy and it's a real problem. Well, you can cut it off and then you don't have to deal with the problem anymore. But what created the problem is still in your body system. It's still in your system. It's going to come out in a different way. It might not come out in a finger, but it's going to come out in a different way. I'm already starting to release a little bit. My throat's getting very dry. So if I had a gig or if I had a big event or if I had a job or something important like that, where I had to show up and just perform, I would probably take the medication just to get through it. But I didn't with this. I mean, I still had my patients and my clients, but I work at home. I do telehealth, and I could still do that. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to be on stage. I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to do anything big that required a whole lot of energy for an audience or a big presentation. I've, led a lot of seminars and done big presentations. So if I had something like that, I probably would have taken medication. But I didn't. So I decided to just let my body move through it, let my emotions move through it, let my emotions process what they had to process, let my body release those symptoms in a way that was manageable for my mind and my brain, and to just move through it, which I'm almost out of it right now. So I still have a little bit of a throat thing going on, but so much better, so much better. And I call it an elimination because I think it's an elimination, not just on the physical plane where the body is eliminating, toxins, an accumulation of toxins, whatever, chemicals, whatever. I mean, we live in a world that's full of chemicals and full of toxins. So maybe my body was just doing that, and it could be both, my mind needed to let go of some things too. Now, when we talk about letting go of some things, the things can be thoughts, behaviors, habits, patterns of relating. Can also be people. Can also be letting go of people. Letting go of people that don't bring you joy. Letting go of people that put you down. Letting go of people that aren't fun. Letting go of people that don't seem to be conscious and aware of their actions and behaviors. It's just a letting go on all levels. Letting go of things in your environment, letting go of things in your physical body, chemicals, toxins, whatever, letting go of things in your environment, getting rid of things, letting go of clutter, and also in your relationships and habits, letting go of habit patterns, and letting go of people that aren't there for you, letting go of people that aren't supportive for you. Being sick is an opportunity to take time out and think about things and catch up on processing some things you just didn't process because you were just full speed ahead. So that's my take on it, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm about to move into something right now. I don't know if I'll be recording next week because I am going back. I'm just doing some self-disclosure here. No pretense. I don't need to pretend to be something I'm not. I am taking the ashes of my husband to a place we used to live, and I'm going to disperse them. And Sunday morning, the other day, I actually woke up. You know how Facebook shows you memories? Facebook shows you memories of, oh, here you were 9 years ago, here you were 5 years ago, here you were 12 years ago. And it showed me a picture of him on the very beach 9 years ago that I took. That was the image of our backyard. We lived right on the beach in Hawaii. And it was a picture of him standing in the exact place where I'm going to be going back, and I will be taking his ashes, and his ashes will be dispersed there. And that just blew me away. It was almost like he was saying, hello, because he knows what, I think he's still around. And he knows what I've been going through and knows what I've been, I've been home alone for weeks, not seeing people or anything. And so he knows what I've been going through and what I've been processing and moving through. And I'm good, it's going to be fine. I'm going to be better than ever. But he knows. And it's almost like he popped up on the Facebook memory to just say, hey, I'm here and I'll be here when you come and spread the ashes here too. Now, this is somebody that was a big part of my life for 50 years. So even though we were separated at the end, we were family. We were together all the time for family events and, with our son and, Christmas and birthdays and together. And we saw each other a lot, and I talked to him on the phone every day. So we were like brother and sister. We were very, very close. So this really is the end of a chapter for me. And I didn't think I was going to get emotional. I've been very emotional lately. But this is the end of that chapter, the end of the saga of us being young together and me being young and having all the experiences that we had, especially in this location where his ashes are going to be dispersed. And I will be there with my son and my daughter-in-law, so it will be fine. But this and the last video are different than the ones that I've done before. The ones that I've done before, I've just kind of been, very professional and doing my thing and doing the cards and this and that. But this is real. This is who I am, and this is what has been going on. And I wanted to share it with you because I think being authentic is one of the most beautiful things you can be. And authentic means no pretense. Authentic means that you behave the way you say, you behave the way you think. You're congruent. You know what I mean? You're congruent. So you're not like saying, I'll just give you an example. In a relationship, somebody says, oh, I love you, babe. And then they say things that are like hurtful to you, like they make fun of what you look like, or they tear you down, or you show them a project you did and they say, oh, I don't like what you did right there. That's not right. Change it. Things where they don't support you, but they say, oh, I love you, babe. That's not congruent. Saying, I love you, babe, means being supportive 100%, being there, having that person's back. It's congruent. In other words, what you say, your behavior lines up behind. And if it doesn't line up behind it, you're not congruent. So that's who I am. I mean, that's how I roll. I'm all about authenticity, integrity, and being congruent. So, and being consciously aware of what's going on. I see a lot of signs. I see a lot of symbols. I told you last time in the last video that a cigar is never just a cigar for me. It's always something. There's always something. There's always a meaning. There's always a sign. It's always a symbol, something for me to look at and go, oh, what does that mean? Oh, I get it. The universe talks all the time. The universe is a projection of your own thoughts. So it's almost like your own thoughts are reminding you of something. Anyway, see, the throat thing. So that's kind of where I'm at, and that's kind of where I'm going, and that's what's going to happen in the next, period of time. And it's also around my birthday. I will be coming back on my birthday. This has always been challenging, a challenging time of the year for me for a number of reasons. More disclosure here. First of all, I was born in a cold climate, and I grew up in a cold climate. I came to California after I graduated my undergraduate and moved to Northern California. But I never vibrated to cold weather. It just doesn't work for me. And the last few days have been challenging because my furnace went out, and it's been like 46 degrees at night. And I've been in here with the fireplace on in sweats, and a sweatshirt and a flannel shirt and blankets. I feel like a prairie woman, just kind of like staying in by the fireplace and staying warm. And so it's been challenging for me to be that cold. I had my furnace fixed yesterday. So that's great. And, I don't have to be sleeping in, full on clothes and wearing a bunch of blankets and walking around freezing. My hands were literally like ice. I went to sleep with a heating pad in my bed to warm up the bed. So it was like, I felt like a pioneer woman. Anyway, so I never really vibrated to cold climates. And this time of year, it gets cold. Even in Los Angeles, it gets cold. And, sometimes it's beautiful and sunny during the day like it is today, or was today. It's now getting to the evening. But it's been cold. And this time of year is challenging for me because where I came from, it got dark early. We had a lot of snow. My birthday's this time of year. Holidays are this time of year. And there were a lot of deaths in my family this time of year. And my anniversary was January 1st. So many times I would say, I want to go away right after Thanksgiving and come back right by Valentine's Day. Just be someplace warm that whole time. I've never really done that, but I am going to be going someplace warm in the next few days and be someplace warm for several days. So that's going to be nice. And I appreciate that. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do that and to be able to take his ashes to that place and spread them in a way that is befitting to him, that he would really, really like, and doing it with the greatest respect. Also, this time of year is challenging for me because I don't have a lot of family with me. And so that's hard too. Every family has fractionated pieces, where it's like broken apart, there's been misunderstandings, whatever it is. And sometimes it's not about you, and sometimes it's about them. And we just have to allow people to be who they are and follow their own path and follow their own way and send them love. But there is always that loss there, especially for me during the holidays. I even have, you might even see it right there on the edge, I have one of those lamps that is a lamp that you're supposed to sit in front of. I'm sure I had seasonal affective depressive disorder when I was growing up in that dark, cold climate that I grew up in. You know, there was always this feeling of malaise, this uncomfortable, couldn't quite put my finger on it kind of feeling. I mean, I was popular in school, I had friends, I was a cheerleader, this and that. You know, I went to all the proms in high school, all of that. I had dates, but there was always this undercurrent of not quite being comfortable. And so that's what it was like in the fall and the winter for me. And so this time of year has always been challenging for me. And every year I think, I'm going to rewrite history. This year's going to be different. This year's going to be different. Last year actually was better because of a number of things. And this year I have had a challenge moving into it, but I'm hoping and I'm seeing and I'm visualizing and I'm affirming that it will be different and change that script for me. But you can't change the script of all the family members that passed away in the fall and the winter. You can't change that script. That just happened. You can't do anything about that. That's facts. But those are contributing factors to why it's always been a challenging time of year for me. So I haven't been doing this regularly as I wanted to, because after I did the last one, I got sick again. And I had kind of like a relapse of this flu thing. And my body, I have a very sensitive body. I mean, I'm very intuitive. I have different abilities, shall we say. And I use these abilities in my practice with my private people that come to work with me. But it makes me be especially sensitive. I'm sensitive to a lot of things. I'm sensitive to energy. I'm sensitive to food. I'm sensitive to vibration. I'm sensitive to people's, to environments. I mean, I can walk into an environment and be like, feel something so strong and start becoming very, very emotional and not even know what happened there. And then I find out what happened there. And so anyway, being sensitive like this is a gift, I guess. I have to see it that way. And many of you who are watching this are the same way. I know you are, because you've sent me notes, you send me texts, and a lot of you are quite shy about it. You don't want to post anything on the YouTube comment section, but I encourage you to do that because you're not alone. And one of the things about this whole way of being is that it's easy to feel alone. It's easy to feel alone. And I want you to know that you're not alone, that others of us are here too. And also, it's really important to get that spiritual connection going to remind you that you're never alone. And it can be challenging. It can be challenging. It's especially challenging when you're not feeling well, because then you're more vulnerable than ever. You're more sensitive than ever. And I certainly have been more sensitive than ever the last several weeks. You know, I mean, just letting it all hang out. Definitely more sensitive. A lot of tears, a lot of processing, a lot of that. And when you're not feeling well, you just take things deeper and they're more, they affect you in a more profound way. So enough about me. Let's do some cards. Should we do some cards, Luna? Yeah, she says yes. So, Luna's my girl. Luna is 17 cat years old. That means she's in her mid-80s in human years. Isn't that wild? I live with a person in their mid-80s, an older woman in her mid-80s. Her name's Luna, but she looks like a cat, but she's really a person. Okay, this is the one that just showed up for me. It just popped up, actually. I don't know what it says because I can't read it without my glasses, but I'm going to look at it right now. Also, my nails are not as long as usual. I've been doing a lot of typing and on the computer, so I'm not as glam tonight as I usually am. I forgive everyone, including myself. I release the past with acceptance and love. I think this is totally appropriate and perfect for what I just talked about. I forgive everyone, including myself. I release the past. Haven't I been talking about releasing? I've been talking about releasing. I've been talking about eliminating. That's what I've been talking about. And I'm going to move this out of the way here. I forgive everyone, including myself. I release the past with acceptance and love. And the other side is willingness is the crack in the door, inviting spirit to enter. Didn't I just say that it's so important when you're in this situation and when you're as sensitive as many of you are, myself included, that it's really important to keep your spiritual connection going, because then you feel connected. It's very easy to feel isolated. It's very easy to feel different. It's very easy to feel separate. The goal is to work on making sure that you feel connected. Connected with phone calls, connected with people that you care about, that are supportive to you, connected to spirit big time. That's the biggest connection. Willingness is the crack in the door, inviting spirit to enter. Being willing, being open and willing for spirit to communicate with you. Like I was saying, those signs, those symbols, those things you see in your environment, in your everyday life, they're not an accident. They're not an accident. Willingness is the crack in the door. Be willing to see those things. Be willing to acknowledge them when they're given to you. The more signs you notice and the more symbols that you see in your life and you go, oh, I know what that means. Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for showing me that symbol. You know, your loved ones from the other side, the angels that communicate with you. You don't blow it off. You blow it off, you're not going to get more. Don't blow it off. Accept it. Be thankful for it. Be grateful for it. And then you'll get more. And the more you get, the more connected you feel. It's pretty amazing. So let's do the cards. All right. This is really, really good. This is good. I forgive everyone, including myself. I release the past with acceptance and love. Let it go. Move on. Next chapter. And I really feel like next chapter in my life too. I really feel like this is the end of a very long chapter, a very long chapter of, the biggest part of my life, actually, from being young to being the age I am right now, which I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but yeah, I get Medicare. I'm that age. And this is letting go as I say goodbye to him and spread his ashes where we used to live. I am letting go of the past and closing the chapter of myself being young like that and those experiences. But that doesn't mean it's over. It means that there's another chapter and the best is yet to come, as Frank Sinatra sang. He sang, out of the tree of life, I picked me a plum. And my voice is the worst right now. I haven't sung because I've had laryngitis and this sore throat. But anyway, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. For you, for me, for all of us. We have to think that way. The best is yet to come. It gives us hope. And with hope, things open up. If we think the best isn't yet to come and it's over, things close down and we don't get things because we're closed down. So thinking the best is yet to come, we're open and all these wonderful things can happen to us and all these great experiences are to be had. The best is yet to come. No matter what your age is, the best is yet to come. All right. I just flashed on something. I was just thinking about this, like I said, I've got a birthday coming up, all right? And, if you're 64 and people say, oh, well, aren't you 65? You're almost 65. You're 64 until the very minute you turn 65, right? You're like, there's no rush to move up. But when you're 5 and your birthday's in 5 or 6 months, people say, how old are you? You go, I'm almost 6. It's like, hey, I'm almost this age. I'm almost the age that I'm going to be in 6 months, because when you're young, you have so much time ahead of you, and the road is really, really long, and you're kind of in a rush to get there, And as you age, the road becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. So you want to stay, slowing down and not be rushing too fast, because the road is shorter, The road is shorter the older you get. But the best is still yet to come, and I totally believe that, and I'm planning on that, expecting it. I'm expecting that. All right, let's go into the cards now. I've talked about going into the cards for a few minutes, but I haven't gone into them yet. but we're going to do that right now. And let's see what turns up. I'm going into my trusty deck. This deck, I have used this deck since I was a teenager. Not this very deck. I got new decks because the other ones got sticky and, old and wrinkled. But I'm really big on these. I'm really big on cards, and especially this deck works really well for me. And I have a lot of profound experiences in what this deck has shown me. And actually, I want to tell you something. There's a major arcana in here, The major arcana is the super powerful cards. They have a lot of punch, a lot of pixels. When I was pregnant with my second son, who is 44, anyway, every morning, for a long time, every morning I would get up around 3 or 4 in the morning and not speak and just have candlelight, no music, no electricity, just candles, and, moving silently, very meditative. I'd meditate until the sun came up. And David and I did that too. And then I did it alone also. And so, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So when I was pregnant with my youngest son, Adam, the major arcana cards, I got big versions of it, like that size, maybe that size right there. And they were black and white. They were outlined. And I colored them every morning by candlelight. So if it was like the first of the month, I would have the magician card and I would paint and color the magician card like a work of art. And I have all of them. And then I laminated all of them in plastic. So I have all of them. And I would, I had little metallic paints and markers and things like that. And if I didn't finish it, by the time the sun came up, I would save it till the first of the next month. So I was painting these cards, these little pieces of art, on the day of the card. So if it was the 14th, I was painting the card of the 14th. If it was the 3rd, I was painting the Empress card. And if I didn't finish it by the time the sun came up, I would put it aside, and the 3rd of the next month, I would take it out and continue to paint it. So I was painting it while I was meditating in the energy of the day that the card was of the major arcana. The major arcana goes, from 0 to 21. So anyway, and it was this kind of version, the version of these cards. It was a Rider-Waite deck. This is a little bit of a more modern version, but it's still the same images. And it was the Rider-Waite deck that I got in black and white and painted in the energy of the day. So this deck, this style of card has been with me for many, many decades. And now we're going to pull something. We ask that we have divine guidance. We ask that whatever comes through is beneficial for everyone who's watching or listening. Well, it's the High Priestess. Here we go. She and I are wearing matching colors today, the High Priestess. I lay them down here so that I can look at them like a little road map, so that when we go into the guided meditation part, I have them sitting right here. And I like to choose 3. Okay. That is the 3 of Pentacles. And one more. And this is the 7 of Wands. I think that one looks familiar. I either pulled that in a private reading. I do private readings for people too. That's either from a private reading that I did recently or something I pulled for myself when I was asking the cards for guidance. But it looks very, very familiar. I might have talked about it. Maybe it came up even in the last meditation video that I did. So those are those cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the angel cards next, and then I'm just going to go into the narrative of all of it together. And that will be the narrative, and that will be the story, and that will be where we're going to go in our guided meditation. My new favorite tea, looks like Hawaiian punch. It's hibiscus. I guess getting into the flow of being in Hawaii. It's delicious. I just love it. It's so good. And I put a little stevia in there, sometimes a squeeze of lemon. Fabulous. All right, let's go into this deck right now. This is the daily guidance from your angels. And let's see what card shows up here. I'm just going to choose one of these. Give us more substantiation, more validation, more guidance, more inspiration. And here we go. There's nothing to worry about. Okay, well, that sounds good to me, because I got to tell you, I've been worrying about a few things lately. But I'm not going to worry anymore, because the cards just said, don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about, so I'm going to stop it. Stop worrying. Worry is a waste of the imagination. I know this, but sometimes I go there. I'm sure you do too. Worry is a waste of the imagination. Let's go to the indigo deck next. Because when you worry, all you're doing is imagining things you don't want. And that just puts energy into the universe to have it manifest, which is like what you don't want. Okay. I'm going to shuffle these and get some more information. The indigo deck is an interesting deck. If you're watching this, you're probably an indigo. I am an indigo. We're very sensitive. We feel that we're here to be of service to humanity. We feel like we have an important destiny. And even if, you know, it doesn't have to be a Nobel Peace Prize. It can be even on a very small scale, but to be able to help others. And so if you're watching this, I'm sure you're an indigo. And if you vibrate to my channel, I'm sure you're an indigo. Indigos can be any age, by the way, not just kids. A lot of times they say, oh, he's an indigo child or he's a rainbow child. Well, indigos are any age. Divine timing. Well, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Everything happens at divine timing. Everything. You just got to let it roll and not get caught up in forcing things. I'm going to choose one more card here. Actually, we're not choosing anything. The cards are actually showing up. I always just say choose, but that we're not really, I'm not choosing anything. I'm just seeing, I'm shuffling till consciousness tells me to stop shuffling, and then I take the top card. So here we go. And let's see what is being shown to us here. Give us more guidance, more substantiation, more validation, more clarification. Cut it. And Spirit tells me when to cut it. And take it on top. Okay, here we go. Divine order. Well, I'll tell you, this is a really, really good reading. And I'm really glad that I was able to do it today, because this is really, really a good one. All right, so let's talk about the story. All right, the story is come from the highest. Okay, nothing's really black, nothing's really white. There are shades of gray. Okay, you see how she's got her foot on the moon there? Stay in touch with your intuition. Stay in touch with your inner guidance. And I want to get my glasses because there's something else in here I want to tell you about. I've been creating pomegranate seeds lately, and pomegranates. Pomegranates actually have allergic acid in them, E-L-L-A-G-I-C. When I had advanced stage cancer, it was during part of the time I had it, the weather was warm. And we had a private backyard at that time. I lived in a different house. And I was like craving pomegranates. I would get up in the morning and eat 2 or 3 pomegranates in the backyard, totally nude, with the juice dripping all over the place, and then I'd hose myself off. It was completely private, so no one saw me. But I felt very, I don't know, primordial almost. Just like, you know, sticking my face in these pomegranate seeds. And I couldn't figure out why I was craving pomegranate seeds. And then after that, I found some research about pomegranates being anti-tumoral, anti-cancer, and being full of allergic acid, E-L-L-A-G-I-C, which is very powerful to support the immune system. So that's another thing about guidance, you know, following guidance. But anyway, pomegranates are also extremely creative. Check it out. She's got a lot of pomegranates right behind her in that drape behind her. And her headdress is 2 crescent moons, one on either side, with a moon in the center. See it? There you go. And there's the black and the white, but she's in between. Balance is key. Balance is key. Something else I want to say, when people knew I wasn't feeling with a big, oh, well, you got to have balance, got to take time for yourself. I'll tell you, I'm really good with balance as far as taking time for myself. I think I take time for myself more than anybody I know. I make sure I'm not like spinning out. I make sure I'm not spreading myself too thin. I know how to bring myself back in. I like being home. I like being home, and I like being home alone by my fireplace with my cat, doing yoga, meditating. So balance is really important, but I had to learn balance because when I was younger, I didn't have balance. I can remember a time in my life where I got really antsy if I was home. I had to be out. I was uncomfortable being home alone. I didn't like my company as much as I like my company now. I think that comes with age, though. When you're younger, you're not quite as, you think you're very conscious and aware, and you may be, but you're not as conscious and aware as you are when you get older. So getting older is actually a gift because you become wiser, you become more intuitive, you become more aware, and you're alive. So it's a gift. You get to be on this planet more, you get to be in this body more. That's why it's so important to take care of the body. I've got a hair right here. That's why it's so important to take care of your body because it's the only one you get. All right, so that's the balance part. And she's, by the way, the high priestess is connected to spirit. The high priestess, 2. And 2 also is 11. And 11 is the gateway. When you look at the clock and it's 11:11 or it's 1:11, that means stop for a moment and breathe and feel your connection to spirit. So there's your 11. And the 2 pillars kind of are in 11 too. See that? That's a gateway. Looks like she's in a gateway, actually. I'm very hot right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm heating up. This happens to me sometimes. I don't even have the fireplace going either. But all right, the next card is the 3 of Pentacles. This is a money card. This is a career card. This is a work card. This is someone who's working. Check it out. Kind of on a church, right? Working on spirit. And there are a couple people there commenting, supporting. But you see this guy standing on this bench? He's working. He's the worker. He is the one who is working on spirit. Father, mother, son. Okay? 3. The 3 stars. He's working on it and diligently. Okay? So this is a reminder to always be working on your connection to spirit, to keep it going. And that's your job, that's your job this lifetime, is to be connected, to be aware, and to accelerate your consciousness. You can't accelerate your consciousness unless you're connected to spirit. It just doesn't work that way. You have to be connected to spirit to accelerate your consciousness. You can't, it's like, you just have to be connected to spirit. There's no other way. That's what you're here for, to get that lesson and to fine tune it so you become more and more connected as time goes by and the older you get. However, now we've got the 7 of Wands. Okay, Wands are a creative card, but this guy is dealing with keeping stuff at bay. Okay, so, keep negativity at bay, keep other people's ideas at bay, defend yourself, stand up for yourself in a way that is creative. And when you need to say something to somebody, use I statements. I don't appreciate, what just came down here. I'm wondering if we could talk about it and come to some kind of mutual decision here that is beneficial to all parties involved. That's I statements. You behave badly and you're not cooperating is not an I statement. And all that does is breed contempt and have the other person wait till you're done talking so they can start talking to defend themselves. So when you defend yourself, do it creatively. And when you say what your needs are, it's really important to be able to say what your needs are, isn't it? Don't shy away from that. That's part of growing up and becoming more mature and more conscious and aware. You speak in a way that is creatively aware, using I statements. Talk about yourself. I'm feeling, I'm wondering if, I felt this way when, I think we, I. It's not about, oh, it's all about me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you talk about how you feel, the other person is not bristling up trying to wait till you're done talking so they can defend themselves. Why don't you start using you this, and you made me feel that, and you said this, and you behaved this way, and you did that. The person already is glossing over and waiting for you to shut your pie hole, which was a lead scene from a movie with Robert De Niro one time, and they're not going to hear you. When you talk about yourself, it allows them and your feelings and what you're experiencing. It allows the other person to take responsibility for their part. They cannot take responsibility for their part. When you're blaming them, they will not take responsibility. They'll just resent you, want to get away from you, and want to blast you. So defend yourself creatively. And remember, there's nothing to worry about. Well, that's really great because that's nice to know. Really nice to know. There's nothing to worry about. Everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen. I'm going to actually read you this one. I'm going to read these cards because they're not the tarot and they're a little different, but there's nothing to worry about. Here we go. It opened right to the page. You are safe, and this situation is under perfect control, under the perfect control of divine providence and universal order. Only infuse loving thoughts and emotions into the situation to ensure that the highest possible outcome flows effortlessly to and through you. Excuse me. More releasing. The angels send this card to you because you've been needlessly worrying. I have to say I have. Worry is a form of prayer that draws to you that which you do not desire. Wasn't I just talking about that before I ever even pulled the cards about how I've been worrying lately? Release your worries to your angels, as there truly is nothing to worry about. In fact, your worries could create a self-fulfilling prophecy. So cut out the worry. Here are some additional meanings. Everything's much better than you imagine. Ask the angels to release you from worry. A happy outcome is inevitable. Avoid worrying, lest the negative emotions pull you down and pull you and the situation down. The angels are with you and everything is okay. What a great card, right? What a great card. There's so much crap going on in the world right now. Whew. So many things to worry about. But all that does is perpetuate what you don't want. So, as they say, let go and let God. Just let go. Let go of the worries. Let go. Take the backpack with all those rocks off that you've been carrying around. Take it off. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it flow and let it go. When I yawn, it's more releasing. And the releasing, again, is my body releasing the energy of the day so that I can better do what I need to do here for you. Let's look at the next card. The next card is Divine Timing. Piggybacking right on that card right there. Divine Timing. Yep, there's nothing to worry about because everything's happening in the right time frame and just the way it's supposed to happen. We're going to read through this quickly. Divine Timing. This card means the resolution of a situation you're inquiring about is delayed by much more than mere circumstance. Divine timing means that nothing can happen before the dynamics of your life are completely ready for it. Many factors are involved in divine timing, including other people's free will choices. If your wish is fulfilled at the wrong time, the conditions won't be right and the manifestation won't be lasting or permanent. Trust the divine order of things and know that you're on the right path toward the fulfillment of your wishes and your indigo mission. Keep your faith strong and be open to intuitive guidance that calls you to action. That's more about watching the signs and the symptoms and the signals in your body and your environment and in your relationships. One step at a time, all of your prayers are heard and answered exactly when they're supposed to be. Boy, that is so good. Keep your faith strong and be open to the intuitive guidance. I was talking about that earlier, wasn't I? Be open to the intuitive guidance. The signs and symbols come constantly. Constantly. Don't ignore them and don't go, oh, that's just a coincidence. Doesn't mean anything, just a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is energy. Nothing is a coincidence. It's all connected. And realizing that and finding that and seeing that connection is so rewarding. The last card is Divine Order. This is Archangel Raguel. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. All right, we're going to read this one and then go deep. Divine Order. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. A win-win situation is brewing, one with solutions that are fair to everyone involved. This requires you to have blind faith that heaven is working behind the scenes to extract the highest good for all. Ask me to buoy your faith if it wavers. Her name is Raguel. Use positive affirmations and prayers to keep your spirits high. Above all, my eyes are tearing. Where is my tissue? Oh, gosh. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Watering eye break. Everything's flowing, you know. It's all flowing. It's all good. Okay. Allow yourself to imagine that I'm on the wrong, okay, Divine Order, sorry. Use positive affirmations and prayers to keep your spirits high. Above all, make sure that your conversations about the situation will involve positive and optimistic words and phrases. You're so powerful that your thoughts can speed the resolution along even quicker. Working with Archangel Raguel. Raguel has beautiful pale blue energy like the sky on a perfect spring morning. How about that? Raguel is the angel who guides people to act in fair and just ways. And Raguel also gives us faith in humanity's essential goodness. Wearing or holding an aquamarine crystal will align you with Raguel's kind and wise persona. I love blues. I wear a lot of blues. My favorite are blues and greens. Coral's coming in after that, but I like a lot of blue and green. It's always been my colors. And I can remember being a little girl growing up back east in the summer, just laying on the grass, watching the clouds go by and seeing that beautiful blue sky, this color blue. I love that color. I still do. So there we go. And now it's time for meditation. So make yourself comfortable. And if you have a question, go ahead and remember what it is, write it down, or think of it right now. If you don't have a specific question, just in your mind, say, let me know what's going on in my life right now, okay? Or give me some guidance or give me some direction if you don't know exactly what your question is. Make yourself comfortable. When we were doing this live in Valencia once a week, everybody would lay down. I think lying down is really good. And if you go to sleep, don't worry about it. Your subconscious mind is hearing everything. A lot of people actually use these videos to go to sleep. All right. And we're going to get ready to go. letting your body relax now as your mind begins to know that it's okay to drift and float. Every inhalation brings in more and more of a sense of consciousness and awareness without you having to do anything. And every exhalation carries away anything that is interfering or in the way of your greatest success, health, and happiness. Any sounds you hear that are regular, everyday, normal sounds don't disturb you or distract you in any way. Instead, they allow you to go even deeper into your own experience. Every breath relaxes you more deeply. Every breath allows you to let go more and more. This is a time you are taking for yourself. This is a time your body has wanted you to take for yourself. This is a time your mind has been craving. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just be. Ears open. Just be. Eyes closed, going deep inside. I'm going to count from 5 down to 0, and each count will allow you to release and let go even more. The sound of my voice will allow you to release and let go even more. Beginning on the count of 5. Feeling the body releasing and relaxing. And moving down to 4. Knowing that it's okay for you to release even more. And moving down to 3. Feeling more and more grounded and centered and connected. And moving down to 2. The body now from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, relaxed and releasing more and more, feeling more and more comfortable as you drift into a daydreamy state. And coming down to 1. Mentally, your body, if you scan it, you will see from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, more and more releasing. And imagine out of the tips of your toes and out of the soles of your feet, any unwanted, any negative, any hindering thoughts, feelings, or conditions are expelled naturally, gently, and easily. And going from 1 now down, even deeper, letting yourself go even more deeply down to 0. Every cell in your body is rejoicing and giving thanks that you are taking this time to recalibrate. Every part of you needs this, wants it, craves it, and welcomes it. Balance is key. You become more and more aware of how important it is for you to have balance in your life. More and more aware of how important important it is for you to be in touch with your intuitive, creative side. And more aware of how important it is to go deep within into your yin side. Your yin side is the dark inner part of yourself that is quiet, serene, calm. You are being acknowledged for the work that you have been doing on spiritual realms. You've been making great progress. Keep going. You're in the right direction. You're moving in the right direction. Keep at it. It's fine for you to speak up and to say how you feel in certain situations, defending yourself in a creative way and being authentic so that what you say is how you behave. Because there is nothing to worry about. Use your mind for positive outcome. Worrying is a waste of the imagination. Use your imagination to manifest in your external world what you imagine in your inner world, in your inner yin creative cavern. Everything happens in divine timing, and divine timing is at play even now in your life. Allow, observe, witness. Be fully conscious and aware of what's going on around you. The more conscious and aware you are, the more magical life will be. And remember that everything happens in divine order. All is in divine order. There is no need to resist, no need to push. Simply allow and be fully present. And go deeper. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking this time for yourself. I honor you for doing this for yourself. I look forward to seeing you again in this dimension. And until then, I wish you wonderful things and many, many blessings. Namaste.